Mark Alder here to talk to you about my new book. Where's it gone? Somebody's moved it off the desk. There we are. That was spooky, wasn't it? My new book, The Devil's Blade, which is the story of Julie Daubeny, later known as La Maupin, who was a 17th century opera singer, who was also a duelist, fencer, who killed 11 men in duels. In my book, she kills 13 for reasons that are related to the title. So I've also written this book, Son of the Morning and Son of the Night, which also seem to involve the devil. It's not something I have a particular hang-up about the devil, but I do seem to write about it quite a lot. In The Devil's Blade, the devil in this is pretty much like the ordinary folk devil that we see in Christian mythology. He's quite sort of, she in this book is quite malevolent, trickster, related to earlier trickster gods, all that kind of thing. And it's pretty much a development of the figure of Loki that I had in my Wolfsangel book, which I write under the name MD Lachlan. The devil in the Son of the Morning books, in the Banners of Blood series it's called, this devil is a bit different. I split the devil into two for that. So there's Lucifer, who made the world and made God, a god who's obsessed with hierarchy and who overthrew Lucifer and created Satan to keep him in the prison of hell. One of the things that's often ignored in Christian mythology is that essentially the devil is a servant of God. He tortures souls in hell for God. So there's an interesting mix with the traditional, with the devil as we think of the devil today, between adversary and servant. And I split those two roles up in Son of the Morning. Anyway, let's have a look at my bookshelves. So to do this, I will come out of this strange effect, which I found pleasing when it started. It may now be irritating, so let's stop it and return to the ordinary world. So just have a very quick look around my bookshelves, and in the company of me and where is he? Oh, have to do it differently. This dog and this dog. So very swiftly, these are all my Osprey books, which are books of military history, very, very useful. Let's have a look at what this one is. There we go, Byzantine armies. That was for the third Wolfsangel book, which was set in Byzantium with the Varangian guards. So all this kind of Viking stuff, this is all historical stuff, apart from the Better Back book, which someone rather annoyingly seems to have stuck into the middle of it. These are all books of poetry, which I sort of use to get the mood of a lot of my books. If I'm, say, for instance, with Wolfsangel, I read a lot of Ted Hughes when I was starting that, just to get in the in the swing of things, because it's got that bleak sort of blood and irony feel. And when I did Son of the Morning, Son of the Night, I did a lot of Chaucer, which is guarded by this bear. Hello. And when I was doing Devil's Blade, I listened to a lot of things like Lully, which is the opera, which is quite dark, some of that stuff. This is my writing space. There's a raven to steal ideas, some heads, which are there to spook anybody out who happens to sleep here for the night. That has actually worked on a couple of occasions. Very ancient iMac, which I refuse to give up until it dies. A few trinkets from around the world. It's a photo of my kids taken by the amazing JJ Waller, who just literally that was at my Whitehawk Football Club, which is my football club, and he when I say it's my football club, it's a football club I support. And he just literally stuck his camera in the air with one hand, clicked and took that, which I thought was incredible, because that would have taken me, well, I don't think I couldn't have taken it. It was weeks to set up. These are all sort of historical research stuff. I love history and I read a lot of history. So there's Napoleon, Churchill, are the megalomaniacs, what's it saying about me? Jane Austen, a life, not a megalomaniac. Peter Ackroyd, I've read a lot of his stuff. History of the Second World War. Then down to here, yeah, Lucifer, bit of a book of pop fiction, really. It's quite interesting. Lucifer by Mike Carey, a lovely chap who I've been on a course with. We featured on this course up in Avron for the Avron people together, which was really good fun. Went to see Sylvia Plath's graveyard, and a cat walked across our path, which we thought, both of us thought might be Sylvia Plath's reincarnated spirit, but probably was in fact a cat. Here's a fox I shot in a toy shop, and lots of books up here. Various ones have been given to me by various people, and just have a look at what we've got up there. Peter Ackroyd to a bit of Nick Hornby thrown in. Samuel Pepys didn't give me that. Anthony Burgess, Bullfinch's Mythology, Susan Cooper, Angela Carter, Ray Bradbury. No, these aren't in order. Joe Abercrombie. I've seen him lots of times. He's never given me a book. Conan Doyle, John Fowles. Let's think. Oh yeah, I'm a big glam rock fan. So I think glam rock's the highest expression of human culture, probably narrowly edging out the Renaissance. And we've got Hilary Mantel, just to prove we're in a middle class family. Very good book, nevertheless. Really enjoying her latest one. Spellwright by Blake Charlton. His books came out at virtually the same time as mine. It's an interesting one that is from his experience of dyslexia, and he's worked it into his magic system. So it's good stuff. Mark Lawrence, Spencer Thorns, nice book. Face of Battle, very good book for anybody who's interested in writing fight scenes, realistic battle scenes done from the point of view of the soldier. James Joyce, Larry Niven, me, Stephen King, George R.R. Martin again. Has he been up there already, hasn't he? Somebody's put that over the front, don't know what that's doing there. And lots of other, adventure stuff. Master Commander, a bit of historical stuff with Pure, Gorman Gast, a few of Adam Roberts' stuff. I think he did give me those actually. It was very nice of him. Good books too. Really enjoyable stuff. Always stretched my brain a bit. It's not a brain that needs a lot of stretching, to be honest. J.R.R. Tolkien, heard of him, I'm sure. Sean Ryder, heard of him. Can't all be highbrow, can it? And again, a massive mix of all sorts of stuff, which people just shove into these cupboards. P.G. Woodhouse, one of my favourite ever writers, very, very funny. Clearly, and one of the people I read the very earliest. I've also got a very large Virginia Woolf collection, which seems not to be here, which is annoying because I wonder what my wife has done with it. Oh, there's one Virginia Woolf book, but I'm sure I've got a lot more than that. Okay, so Gavin Smith book. Yeah, this is funny. It's got a funny line in which I like. Let's have a look. I've turned straight to it. That wasn't actually set up, believe it or not. Why was I thinking about Dog 4 again? Just another gunfight, although it had been a hairy one. Another fucking last stand. My arm ached. The prosthetic one. Now that's a funny joke. Is that I don't often like humour in fantasy and science fiction because it very often doesn't work, but that one works. Got yet another Adam Roberts book, which is strange. Fencing, lots of stuff because I'm a fencing coach, but also lots of fencing in the Devil's Blade. Anyway, we move slowly. St. Pauli, another football team I kind of follow, German second division team. When I say I follow them, I go at the pub and watch their games occasionally. There's a dog. There's a skateboard. It's not mine, it's a child's. And another dog. On that note, we shall finish. So lovely talking to you all, and do buy The Devil's Blade.